Hi Capricorn, this is Jody with Soul Purpose Tarot. I am in Carmel, Indiana. I am a Libra, Sun, Capricorn Rising, Sagittarius Moon. If you've been here before, welcome back. If you're new to the channel, welcome. What I normally do is let flip, fly, or fall anywhere from 5 to 7 tarot cards. Take a look at that. Are we looking at life, love, career, or health? And then clarify with various oracle decks. So let's see what's going on the second half of September for Capricorn. First one is 7 of Wands. You've been fighting off a lot of stuff for a while. 9 of Swords in reverse. That would mean that you've been fighting off a lot of negative thoughts and negative thinking for a while. But since the 9 of Swords is in reverse, that makes me think you might have it under control for a while. Knight of Wands in reverse might be a little bit with the overwhelmed thing, wanting to move forward, but feeling a little bit overwhelmed and kind of, it's like, I feel like you're like, you want to move forward, but you're a little bit paralyzed at the moment. It's kind of like, if I could get these stupid thoughts out of my head that keep making me question myself and doubt myself, I could move forward. But there's this part of you that's like, it's sucking at your energy. Something is sucking at your energy that is making you a little frustrated. Well, okay, so there's a bunch of stuff. So the 5 of Pentacles in reverse, that makes me feel like just stagnant energy in your finances. And 4 of Cups in reverse. And the Princess of Cups in the upright. And the last one is the Sun. All right, so let me think about this. You are looking for something to fill up your cup. And you feel like there's something that you've been waiting for, looking for, hoping for, wishing for to fill up your cup. And for whatever reason, it's making you not feel whole. The Sun in the reverse position makes me feel that you are not feeling whole. So it's like you want to move forward on something because you're tired of not being fulfilled. So everything about this makes me think that you've been looking at the negative on a lot of things instead of the positive. We need to change that because your thoughts have been, you perceive how your life is. So if you are perceiving that everything is negative in your life, well, then that's your perception. And you can have someone on the other side of the street who has the same exact things going on, and they're looking at their glass half full. So this feels like there could be a case of you are really wanting to move forward and away from feeling like things are just not the way you want them to be. Because you want that Sun card flipped up. You want that in the right direction. You want that upright. You want to think more positive, receptive. So I feel like you're going, yes, you're right. I am receptive to changing the way I think. I am receptive to having good things come my way. I am receptive to the universe. And I feel like I'm hearing that phrase that Wayne Dyer, you'll see it when you believe it. Exhausted. With that falling under the 9 of Swords, it makes me feel like it's like that's one of the reasons that you're like, I'm exhausted thinking this way. I'm exhausted thinking that my life is less than. And you're like, I want to feel fulfilled. I'm ready to feel fulfilled. I don't have a hard time saying that word. So you're looking to feel that way because it's just like you're just tired of being ungrateful and thinking that your glass is half empty. Longing in the reverse position. I feel like that needs to be up. Yearning, wistful, homesick. You're longing for something. You're longing for your cup to be full. You're longing for that emotional fulfillment that you want. And it feels like that you have been kind of thinking, if this just happens, I'll be happy. If this happens, I'll be happy. If this happens, I'll be happy. If this happens, I'll be happy. And you're tired of thinking that way because you know that everything is never going to be perfect. I think you've realized that it's the way you think about things that's the problem. Depressed. So okay. So people who are depressed are definitely those who look at the cup half empty. Look at what's not happening in my favor. Look at this bad thing that happened. Instead of thinking like, oh my God, I trashed my car in a car accident, you should be thinking, thank God I'm safe and nobody got hurt. It's a mind shift. So that's what you're working on right now, is that mind shift from the negative thinking and thinking, about yourself, thinking lack, and the future seeing lack, and trying to see the abundance and the opportunity that is ahead of you that you may not see. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of mental work. I'm gonna be honest. Compassionate. That was in the reverse position. So let me think about this. I feel like that has to do with you're not compassionate with other people who maybe, okay, so this is people who look at their cup half empty instead of half full aggravate the shit out of you. But you also do the same thing sometimes. So that's a trigger for you. And so you need to recognize that things that other people do that bother you is most generally something that you do yourself. I say me included because I am Capricorn rising. Do I want all these cards? Yeah, there's 2 there. Embarrassed. Let's see. What are you embarrassed about? Okay, so this is what I feel like. You, for whatever reason, you feel embarrassed, like you should be further along. I should have my shit together better. Quit beating yourself up. You don't, so it doesn't matter. Nobody's looking at you but yourself. Relieved in the reverse. You're wanting to flip this up, just like you want in the Sun card. You want to be relieved. So you're in the process of flipping your mental anguish from mental anguish to the positive. And it is something you have to work on. It is a process to go from thinking negative all the time to thinking positive. My mom was kind of a negative person, and I realized younger, and I'm a lot better than I used to be. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. Trust me, I am not Miss happy all the time. My thoughts get in my way, and I know darn good and well it's my thoughts that are getting in the way, that are making me feel this way, and I'm looking at the negative instead of the positive. So this is something I believe most people struggle with. So just don't beat yourself up, I guess is what I want to say, is like we all have those days. I think the key is not to stay in that state for very long. If you notice that you're kind of snaking down the dark hole, is to get yourself out of that as quickly as possible. Call a friend who can lift you up as quick as possible. Listen to some music, go for a walk, do something that can get you out of that place of going down the dark rabbit hole. You know what? Let me ask a question here. What would Spirit like for you to release? I feel like that's the question. What would Spirit like for you to release that will help with this looking at the cup half empty, flipping it from there to looking at it half full and being more grateful. I mean, it's kind of like, it's a practice. You know, it's like you go to bed and you start thinking about all of the good stuff instead of thinking about everything that went wrong that day. Because there's nobody in charge of your thoughts but you. So what would Spirit like you to like really work on in this thought trickery? So that makes me think that you focus on people who are up to something. You focus on people who you don't trust that somebody might be truthful with you, that somebody's out to deceive you. So that's where your focus goes, instead of like, you know what, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, and if they screw me over, then I won't keep them in my life anymore or whatever, you know. But I feel like you focus on you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. So think about that. Creation. What does... Oh! You are the creator of your own life. You are the creator of your own thoughts. You are the creator of your own life. And because you are the creator of your own life, if it's not the life that you so desire, that's because you have created it in your mind. Boy, this is so true. I'm going to suggest listen to Summer McStravick. She has Inflow Radio, and she does some of the best podcasts, radio shows, talks about flow and being in flow with like the law of attraction and the universe, and bringing in that life that you were trying to make, and how important it is to be in those positive emotions. And when you find yourself in negative emotions, get yourself out of them as quickly as possible. Acceptance. Spirit wants you to know that you need to accept your role in how your life has played out. Man, my nose itches. Anytime my nose itches, it's usually a good way to know that I'm on to something here. All right, what else does Spirit want you to be aware of? Okay. Self-worth issues could be part of the reason why you look at the glass half full or half empty. Is like, I'm never going to have anything good happen to me. Nothing ever happens good to me. Woe is me, blah, blah, blah. So your self-worth has a lot to do with maybe that negative thinking that you go down. An impasse. I feel like in this case, if you have somebody in your life that you are at an impasse with, you are resisting something. And Spirit says, as soon as you release and stop resisting, whatever you want to come in will happen. So I think that I have learned that when something's not coming in that you want to come in, it's usually because you're resisting doing it the way Spirit wants you to do it. So think about that. Think about what's something that you want or wanted in your life that didn't show up, and think about how you may have been resisting that from happening because you were like, I want to do things my way and not Spirit's way. One more. It's getting cloudy out. Maybe it's supposed to rain today. One more card that Spirit wants us to know. Balance. Okay, so perhaps things might not be going your way is because you are out of balance. Maybe your masculine and feminine energy is out of whack, and it's very hard to get traction and move forward when you might be in some distorted energy. So think about where you're out of balance. Are you, that's a whole subject. Maybe that's something I need to address sometime. The out of balance, divine feminine and divine masculine energy. All right, let me think. Let's do one last question. Okay, so you're trying to flip the sun over and think more positive. All right, I'm going to do these angel cards. So if you can train your brain, if you can train your mind, train your brain to focus on the positive and not the negative, these could be some things that could show up in your life. Singing and dancing, express yourself and awaken your psychic senses through the magical power of music and movement. I feel like the key word there is psychic senses. You could awaken your psychic senses. Perhaps focusing on the negative is depressing your psychic abilities, and I feel like that is when you're focusing on the negative, you're lowering your vibrations. And anytime you lower your vibrations, it kind of stops you from making good things happen that you're trying anyway. So it's kind of like a never-ending thing. Solar plexus chakra. It is safe for you to be powerful and take charge of your life in positive ways. And at the same time, I feel like a lot of this has to do with if you are vibrationally at a lower level. This is one of the things that I have kind of been focusing on and noticing is people who are depressed, anxious, whatever word you want to use for not being in a good place, it is they are vibrationally, their body is vibrating at a lower level. On days when I am tired, when I am frustrated, when I am not vibrating at a good place, my brain tends to go down that dark rabbit hole. So if you can keep your vibrations high, if you can eat better, which is going to raise your vibrations, if you can, God, my nose is driving me crazy. If you can stop watching negative crap on TV and watch positive stuff, it's going to raise your vibrations. The more you raise your vibrations, the more optimistic you get, the more positive you see things in life. And so there are specific things that you can do that will kind of head you off in the right direction and get you out of the negative, but you have to work at it. It is not something that just comes naturally. I mean, it is not, naturally when we're having a bad day, we just want to stay on the couch and stay away from people. And once in a while, that's okay. But if you're doing that day after day after day after day, there's got to be a choice where you're like, today, I am going to eat better and feel better tomorrow. Today, I'm going to get up and walk 30 minutes instead of laying on the couch. Today, I'm going to call a friend or go to lunch with somebody that's going to make me feel better. Pick little things, and then I'm going to do my vibration cards. Heal away addictions. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. So any kind of addictions that you may have, one, does not make you feel good about yourself, does not raise your vibrations, is perpetuating this low vibration, low frequency, low mood, low energy, negative thoughts. Oh my God, my nose is driving me crazy. So what are some things that you could do to raise your vibrations? I've already named off a few things, but those who are specifically watching this video, what are some things that you could do to raise your vibrations to get out of kind of this negative funk and get that sun card flipped upside down so you can like move forward? Oop, there's one. Quiet. So perhaps you have been running yourself ragged, and that's, like I said, when I get tired, when I'm really tired, I'm not balanced, I'm not centered. I get overwhelmed, and when I get overwhelmed, I tend to, like, my brain doesn't want to be happy. Gratitude. We talked about gratitude, I think. Go to bed and think about all the good things that happened instead of all the negative things that happened that day. I'm like, things could be so much worse. Buy yourself some flowers. Those make everybody feel better. This brings up a story. I had a girlfriend that I went to dinner with her. I do not hang out with her anymore because she bitched and moaned and complained about everything when we went to dinner. And I was like, oh my God, you know what? You had better watch what you say. I'm like going, because things could be worse. And I think her comment was like, really? I'm not sure how they could. And when she got home, her air condition had quit working. Prime example of you better watch what you think and you better watch what you say, because yes, things could get worse. And when you're focused on all the negative, it's kind of like the universe is like, oh, she likes negative. He likes negative stuff. Let's give him some more. What's some other stuff you could do to raise your vibrations to get out of this funk that you may be in currently? What is something that you could do to raise your vibrations? Fruit. That's part of that high vibrational foods. Fruit instead of candy. Fruit instead of cereal. Fruit instead of bread. You know, I mean, for years, I was, you know, when I didn't feel good and I wasn't in a good place, I'll tell you what, Friday nights, Burger King, did that a lot of times. I ate my, you know, that was my boyfriend on Friday nights to make me feel better. Satisfaction. Satisfaction comes from doing something that makes you feel better about yourself, your situation. So, you know, like I said, I gave you a list of things that you could do that would, you know, when you got done with those, you'd be like, yeah, that did make me feel better. That's the goal. Just make yourself feel just a little bit better, you know. So I'm done lecturing. Sorry, that was a little bit dark there, but apparently somebody needed to hear that. So I shall see you guys October 1st. Bye.